Joining us now to analyze the coverage, Molly Hemingway, senior editor at The Federalist and a Fox News contributor. Beverly Hallberg, president of District Media Group and a former television producer. And Philippe Reines, a former State Department official under Hillary Clinton. Now, Molly, I understand that legally there's no prohibition against naming the whistleblower, just against retaliation. Maybe you think he's a partisan or a hacker or a never-Trumper. But as I said with Stephanie Grisham, won't it send a chilling message to future whistleblowers if this person can be outed just because the name is leaked to the press? And that might be true in a Democratic administration.
Well, I think people should be concerned about protecting people who are in the public news. But the most important thing is that the media should be in the business of sharing information that is in the public interest. And there's no question that this is in the public interest. And we're not seeing this kind of concern that the media has for this whistleblower that they have had for other people. You had CNN doxing a grandmother because they didn't like what she put on Facebook, showing her in her front lawn. You had NBC recently outing an American spy who was Russian. You have had the New York Times out a CIA station chief in Iran. You don't see concern when it doesn't match their political motivation. And of course, Adam Schiff first demanded that the whistleblower testify until that precise moment that it was revealed that they had coordinated prior to him filing the complaint.
That the whistleblower had spoken to Schiff's staff.
So it seems like the media are just following what Adam Schiff wants, and that's not a good look.
Philippe, if Rand Paul wants to out the whistleblower, and he can do so on the floor without any legal consequence whatsoever, why hasn't he done it? Why ask the press to do his dirty work?
Because he's a hypocrite and a weak man who wants someone else to do his dirty work.
But also perhaps anybody who knows who it is, I don't know who it is, many of our journalists here don't know who it is, but would face an enormous political blowback. So it's easier if the press does it.
Well, but I want to take a step back. When we say why hasn't the press done it, I could say why hasn't Fox done it? I could say why hasn't the Federalist done it?
Actually, this is one of the things I don't quite get about the conversation we're having. There has been reporting on this whistleblower.
The president is saying that the media is not doing its job.
And that is
how are you guys exempt from that?
Just the New York Times did all but reveal his name in September.
Yes,
they gave all the details.
So did Sean Hannity.
But the New York Times was the first to basically half out the whistleblower by saying he's a CIA officer who had been assigned to the White House.
And Real Clear Investigations has identified a man named Eric Ciaramella as the whistleblower. So it's already out there. We could be talking about this reporting and talking about whether that's accurate reporting or not. So I feel a little bit confused about why we're pretending that it hasn't already been
I just
reported.
want to clarify that I don't know that is the person.
That might be the first time that the name has been mentioned on Fox News.
And
not by a Fox News reporter.
I just want to clarify that and I'm going to come to you on this. I don't know whether this is actually the person or not, and I don't want to speculate about that. But there have been a few conservative outlets and commentators who have floated that name or maybe other names. Is this an effort to have it sort of ooze into the mainstream media?
Well, I think there has been a lot of speculation. When you look at social media, you have YouTube and Facebook who have decided to try to block all mentions of this individual's name. Twitter, it's been free reign. So I've heard that name before, which Molly has said. A lot of people have. So the question is whether or not this person should come forward. Should the media out him? Should we hear about it from Rand Paul?
You think Facebook and YouTube are wrong to do that?
I think it's up to them as a business to decide whether or not to do it. I do think that when we look at protections, there is a place for that. But this is an impeachment process, which is a political process, not a criminal trial. There are different protections for people in this situation. And I do think that that's being reported on occasion incorrectly.
It is clearly wrong for these quasi-media corporations like YouTube and other media-related outlets to say you're not allowed to talk about what's been reported out there. It has been reported. That's what I'm mentioning. It has been reported. The idea that you can't talk about...
Trump says the media is not doing its job. You need to do its job. He's not only talking to CNN or MSNBC or the New York Times. He is talking to Fox News. He is talking to the Federalist. He is talking to the Wall Street Journal. Why haven't those? Because he wants the liberal media, as he calls it, to do the dirty work. There's a reason why he's trying to avoid it.
Again, the idea
to whatever extent the media has a responsibility to do it, the entire media is not doing it.
It should be everybody, but also it's just really important. We're talking about someone who set off an impeachment. The idea that the public doesn't have an interest in knowing about this individual, what his ties are with the Biden family, what his history in the government is, what his political motivations are, is utterly absurd.
You can't just throw that out.
Well, let me jump in. It would help if we knew who it was.
He also supposedly works at the CIA, which means that he works for Gina Haspel.
All right.
Gina Haspel is President Trump's choice at the CIA.
I gotta break this up.
Notion that he works at a DNC is crazy.
I got to break this up because I have a question for Beverly. But first, I want to note that the whistleblower's lawyers have said that identifying any suspected name could place the individual at harm, serious risk, and it shows a desperation to deflect from the substance of the complaint. I understand the whistleblower may be an effective target, depending on who it is, but he never claimed to have firsthand knowledge. And now that we have the transcript of the call and all these witnesses who testified who were involved in the Ukraine business, why do the media, why does the House even need the whistleblower at this point?
Well, I think there's a reason why they want him to come to this public hearing, which I don't think Adam Schiff will allow, because he gets to approve who comes forward.
Right.
And that's because, as Molly just said, it started with this whistleblower. This was third-hand information. I think what we're going to hear from Jim Jordan, who's going to be doing the questioning moving over to the Intelligence Committee, is asking whether or not anybody had first-hand information and really try to cloud some of the testimony. So I think the narrative that we're going to be hearing is whether or not individuals like this whistleblower actually had any first-hand
and
information.
the answer to that question is Ambassador Sondland, is Bill Taylor. And both of those are Donald Trump picks.
This is a very important point. Schiff demanded this whistleblower testimony until it was revealed that the whistleblower had coordinated with his staff. The other thing that he doesn't want him to be asked about is where he got the information from, because that would put a lot of people in trouble.
I have got to get a break. The whistleblower, by the way, said in his complaint he had no first-hand information. I had